This short circuit is as much for me as it is for you because I have one of these in my shopping cart right now, and by the end of this video, I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna press checkout and freaking buy this thing. This is the SuperStation One, which is basically an amalgamation of a PS1 and a MiSTer Pi put together into a one-of-a-kind, just really nice little package that should provide everything that I'm looking for out of a retro console. If you don't know, MiSTer Pi is the knockoff version of the MiSTer FPGA, selling at a significantly lower price with all the functionality. And what they've done is they've put that inside of a semi-recreated PS1 shell so that you have the full functionality of a MiSTer Pi, but it's pre-configured for PS1 and it has extra features and it looks so freaking good. But before we get to that, let's see what else is in the box. In the box, we have a just over 6 feet USB C-to-C cable for power. We also have a little included 3-foot HDMI cable. This looks much less nice compared to the braided Type-C cable. These are weird measurements. Anyways, it doesn't include a power adapter, but I think at this point in most people's homes, there's a lot of Type-C adapters kicking around, if not one already at your TV that you can use without adding more things to plug in. Before we even move on, I want to appreciate that they put the effort into this box to style it like a PS1. It's not close enough that I think Sony's gonna be coming after them, but even the font, the colors, the photo, all looks really good. I like that the logo has the sort of PS1 colors. Are you ready to FPGA? Oh, buddy, am I ever. I'm so ready. We also get over 70 homebrew games preloaded on this thing. No officially released titles, which makes sense. That's just a copyright nightmare. But that's actually going above and beyond, in my opinion, to include something out of the box so that if you don't have games already downloaded, you can get going on this thing. And I bet some of these homebrew games are a really cool technical showcase. Let's get to the friggin' device. The device itself is PS1 shaped, and I'd say that as PSONE, not PlayStation original. PS1 is the later revision that's smaller, so it's about that size, about that shape, but it is this really nice matted blue transparent plastic. Like this looks extraordinary. The build quality is really nice. Like this looks like a high-end device. Wow. We have the logo on top with the one ONE, like the PS1, so that kind of makes sense. We have our power button. It is not great. We have our menu button, which would be the eject. It even has the eject icon, but this just brings you back to your menu. That's really nice. I've had MiSTers where you don't have access to the button, so getting back to the menus is kind of annoying. So having both those things right on the top is beautiful. On the front, we have 2 snack ports. If you don't know what snack is, it's something you eat in between meals, or it's a protocol used to adapt retro controllers to modern systems. So basically what this does is it adapts the PlayStation controller to the MiSTer. So that means that you can plug in your original PS1 controllers. You also have memory card slots. You have a USB, so you can plug in a USB controller or dongle. And then we have our micro SD slot, which I believe has both our games and our OS on it, if it's anything like the analog systems. On the bottom, we have 4 little rubber feet, although we don't need to take them off to open it up, which is really nice. We also have this port because you can buy an optional dock that has more USBs on it, but also a disk drive so you could actually put in your original PS1 games. I'm a big believer in emulation as a way of getting you into playing games, and in fact, sometimes can be superior in terms of visual fidelity or game experience to playing on original hardware, but there is something really magical about going to a shelf, grabbing a cartridge or a CD case, opening it up, putting the disc in. That's not the end all be all, but seeing as I have some PS1 games kicking around, I think it'll be really cool to be able to get modern conveniences while also putting in my actual discs. And if I like this thing, I will be buying both. There's so many extra things compared to just a regular MiSTer already built in. On the back, we have 2 USBs, we have HDMI, we have a DIN 10 port, as well as VGA, as well as a headphone jack and Ethernet. None of that is particularly out of the ordinary. We also have our power. What is nice compared to the default MiSTer packages is that we actually have extra analog video outs on both sides. So we have component on this side, David from the future here, as pointed out by one of our great fact checkers, Nene exists. The unit that we have here has different outputs than is advertised currently on the Retro Remake website. Although our unit does match Taki Udon's own video, the differences seem to be no dip switches on the component output, as well on this side there is no S-Video, and this CON port is replaced by a Toslink port, which is actually quite useful. I think the biggest change being no S-Video port, but otherwise, video away. On this side we have our composite video, we have our CON port, which looks like another RCA jack, but I'm curious if it's not what that is. Taki Udon, let us know. And then we have our S-Video port. That is pretty much every like consumer analog video format that you can get by default out of this thing. That's wonderful. Normally you have to add an add-on board or get an accessory. So the flexibility that's offered by this machine right out of the box freaking rocks, man. But none of that matters if it doesn't play well, so why don't we plug it in and find out after we tell you about our sponsor, Ugreen. For all your charging and data transfer needs, the Ugreen MaxiDock Thunderbolt 5 docking station is the ultimate solution. It packs 17 ports and up to 240 watts of power to charge your laptop, phone, and everything else all at once. Experience blazing fast 120 gigabit transfers and edit 4K video directly from the built-in NVMe slot. Connect up to 3 displays, enjoy reliable 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, and trust it to stay perfectly cool 24/7. Grab yours using the discount at the link below. We're all set up and ready to go. It's so easy. You find a USB block that can do 5-volt 2 amps. You find something that can take HDMI or on any of the analog inputs if you want that, just works right out of the box. Plug it in, press go. Easy peasy. That's one of the big scary things about MiSTer platforms is you have to configure it yourself. Once you get going, super easy. There's updates you can do via the console, via network. But I know for myself, before I made my first MiSTer, I was a little bit overwhelmed. So the fact that this comes out of the box, works pre-configured, has all these cores already friggin' installed, this is amazing. And the fact that it comes in such a great little package, I'm actually so hyped about this thing. Let's play a PlayStation game and see how the actual playing experience works. Spoilers, it's gonna be great. It's a MiSTer, they're friggin' fantastic at this. I still get overwhelmed by this menu sometimes. We have our pad, snack memory card, virtual. We can put on a multi-tap if we want. Video and audio is always an important one. So aspect ratio, you can stretch if you're a psycho. You can scale. We're gonna stick with the normal default one. We have all these visual options, including fixed H blank and fixed V blank. We have horizontal crop, black transitions, de-interlacing. So we have bob and weave. I prefer weave. Rotate, which is nice. If you're doing some kind of weird system that has a TV on its side, it's nice to have that option right here. We have dithering, that's super important. Render 24-bit, we don't need that right now. We can force 480p, we're gonna try that. Widescreen hack is kind of fun, so it's not just stretching, it's actually supposed to make the games render in widescreen. I haven't really tried that on MiSTer, so I don't know how well that works. And then texture filter, we can actually add an additional texture filter. The PlayStation One was very primitive, and so anisotropic filtering was not a thing, so you can actually do that with the MiSTer, which is really, really cool. We also have our miscellaneous options, so our fast boot. We can basically tell the console that the disk lid is open or closed, depending on the kinds of games you're playing. You might need to do a disk swap mid-game, so it's nice to be able to do that. And then you can turn on that the MiSTer menu will pause the game, which is really nice. We have other options that we don't really need, but they can be good quality of life things. I've had mixed experiences with messing around with this kind of stuff, but it is great. MiSTer just rocks. It's so much better. Like, you can spend the money, get the PlayStation Classic. No, then you're locked with this crappy console. Even if you jailbreak it and modify it, it's still 10% as good as a friggin' MiSTer. MiSTer friggin' rocks. I don't need to sit here and exalt the wonders of MiSTer. I have other videos for that, go check them out. But trust me, if you're a retro gamer, this is the freaking peak. Let's just play some kind of game. I don't care which game, I just love PlayStation. There's always the period when you first get a ROM where you're like, is it gonna work? Looks like it's gonna work. One thing I find always very frustrating with emulating older games is how A and B are often reversed depending on if you're playing a Japanese primary game or an older system, and then inside the MiSTer menu sometimes it's flipped around itself. Cool.
Is that how you spell David?
Yeah, it's Ukrainian. Oh, it doesn't feel right without the music.
Want me to hum for you?
Yeah. Okay, there's... Beautiful. One thing that I've noticed is that it seems like there's fewer visual options than I'm used to on my MiSTer. I don't know if that's by default or if that was manually disabled, or maybe it's just the PSX core. But there's no shadow masks that I can use. That being said, Pixel Perfect looks pretty dang amazing if that's your kind of thing. I like a little bit of scaling in my retro game, but your mileage may vary. In terms of input latency, it's pretty damn perfectly. I couldn't really tell you that there was any additional input latency. Feels very precise, feels very good. Looks really sharp. The sound sounded good when we were sounding it before, but we turned it off for fear of copyright and also editing troubles. The nice thing too is you can get the Requiem version of this game on Sony consoles, hopefully soon PC and everything else. But it is the modernized text in this beginning, which is absurd. The whole joy of this is how terrible this dialogue is. Tribute, you steal men's souls and make them your slaves. Way better than whatever they tried to fix it. They tried to make it less cringe. We were having a little bit trouble getting our snack ports to work with a PS1 controller, and it turns out that the solution is to enable both snack ports in your MiSTer menu. Now it's working no problem, no configuration needed. You will still need another controller or a keyboard to navigate the actual MiSTer menus. This freaking rocks. Let's play one more game. This feels pretty much exactly as I remember it. Playing with an actual PS1 controller is the way to play these kinds of games. I love this thing. This feels great. I know we've kind of glossed over some of the MiSTer features, but there's just so much you can do. It truly is sort of the ultimate retro emulation platform. And there's so many people using it that there's all kinds of options, all kinds of additional features you can add. And so what I'm evaluating today is just the PS1-ness of this. The fact that you have the snack adapters built in is fantastic. Yes, you can get individual snack adapters for like $10, but if you want like a comprehensive solution, they can start to add up. I've seen some that cost upwards of $100, and here it just friggin' works. Having memory card support out of the box, having everything pre-configured to just work, this is one of the easiest ways to get into MiSTer gaming. And the nice thing is that all the work that they did, they're not charging a huge premium for this. When you consider that like an analog console is $300 plus, the fact that this is $220. This is a fantastic value. Just the board used to cost over that back before they started making the MiSTer Pi boards. So the fact that you get the shell, the extra functionality, everything tweaked to work with PS1 out of the box, this is an extraordinary value. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm gonna go to my computer and hit buy because I want one of these. This is awesome. This is great, it's simple, it works. There's so much tweaking you can do if that's what you're into, but out of the box, you have a good PS1 experience on top of the other cores that you get to use, even though you're using a little PS1 shaped thing. I am very happy, just like I'm happy to have you keep watching more short circuits. Why don't you check the time that we did the MiSTer Pi unboxing? That was a couple years ago. That's another great product that if you're more into tinkering, that might be more up your alley.